Imagine waking up one morning to find that Bitcoin, the world's most valuable cryptocurrency, has dropped by 50% overnight. Sounds impossible? Well, it's happened before, and it could happen again. But today, the threats facing Bitcoin are different, more sophisticated, and potentially more dangerous than ever before. In this video, we're diving deep into the real dangers threatening Bitcoin right now. And trust me, some of these might surprise you because they're not what most people are talking about. So if you own Bitcoin, if you're thinking about investing, or if you're just curious about the future of money, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what could make or break Bitcoin in the coming years. Before we jump in, let me ask you something. Do you think Bitcoin is truly unstoppable? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I'm genuinely curious to see what you believe. Now, Bitcoin has survived a lot over its 15-year history. It's been declared dead hundreds of times by major media outlets. It's weathered massive price crashes, government crackdowns, and even internal wars between its developers. Yet, here it stands, worth hundreds of billions of dollars. But surviving the past doesn't guarantee surviving the future. Today, we're going to explore 7 major dangers that could threaten Bitcoin's existence or fundamentally change what it is. Some are technical, some are political, and some are threats that most people aren't even aware of yet. Let's get started. Danger number 1, quantum computing. The first danger sounds like science fiction, but it's becoming science fact faster than you might think. Quantum computing. Here's the thing. Bitcoin's entire security system relies on something called cryptographic encryption. Basically, your Bitcoin is protected by incredibly complex mathematical problems that would take today's computers thousands of years to solve. That's what keeps your Bitcoin safe from hackers. But quantum computers don't work like regular computers. They use the weird properties of quantum physics to solve certain types of problems exponentially faster. And guess what? The exact type of math that protects Bitcoin is one of the things quantum computers could break. Now, let me be clear, we're not there yet. Current quantum computers are still in their early stages, but companies like IBM, Google, and even governments are investing billions into quantum technology. Some experts predict that within 10 to 20 years, we could have quantum computers powerful enough to crack Bitcoin's encryption. What happens then? Well, someone with a powerful quantum computer could potentially steal Bitcoin from any wallet, fake transactions, or completely undermine the entire network. The good news is, the Bitcoin community is aware of this threat. Developers are already working on quantum-resistant cryptography that could be implemented in a future upgrade. But here's the catch. Implementing such a massive change requires consensus from the entire Bitcoin network, and that's easier said than done. This brings us to our next danger. Danger number 2, governance paralysis. Bitcoin's decentralization is both its greatest strength and its biggest weakness. There's no CEO, no board of directors, no central authority making decisions. Changes to Bitcoin require broad agreement from miners, developers, users, and businesses. This is called rough consensus. Sounds democratic, right? It is. But it also means Bitcoin can be incredibly slow to adapt. Let me give you an example. From 2015 to 2017, the Bitcoin community went through what's called the block size wars. It was a brutal debate about a seemingly simple question. Should we increase the size of Bitcoin blocks to allow more transactions? The community split into factions. Developers fought, businesses took sides. The drama got so intense that it eventually led to the creation of Bitcoin Cash, a separate cryptocurrency that split away from Bitcoin. Now imagine trying to implement quantum-resistant cryptography, or imagine needing to make emergency changes because of some new threat we haven't even thought of yet. What if the community can't agree in time? This governance paralysis could leave Bitcoin vulnerable to threats that require quick action. While Bitcoin debates for months or years, more nimble cryptocurrencies or technologies could adapt and win over users. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a technology from 2009 still dominating its field without major updates? Bitcoin's resistance to change could become its downfall. Danger number 3, government regulation and bans. Let's talk about something that keeps every Bitcoin investor awake at night: government action. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bitcoin is decentralized. Governments can't control it. And technically, that's true. No government can shut down the Bitcoin network itself. But they don't need to. Governments can make it extremely difficult to use Bitcoin by banning banks from working with cryptocurrency exchanges, making it illegal for businesses to accept Bitcoin, imposing heavy taxes on crypto transactions, or arresting people who use Bitcoin for certain purposes. We've already seen this happen. China has banned Bitcoin mining and trading multiple times. India has flip-flopped on crypto regulations. The United States is creating increasingly complex rules that can make it harder for average people to use Bitcoin. But here's what worries me most: central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Governments around the world are developing their own digital currencies. Imagine if your government created a digital dollar or digital rupee that's just as easy to use as Bitcoin, officially backed by the government, integrated into every bank and payment system, and offers some privacy but with government oversight. Would most people still choose Bitcoin, or would they go with the safer, more convenient government option? And it gets worse. What if major economies coordinated a simultaneous crackdown on Bitcoin? The G20 nations getting together and saying, we're all going to heavily restrict Bitcoin on the same day. The price could crash, miners might shut down, and the whole network could face a crisis. Bitcoin can survive individual country bans, as we've seen with China, but coordinated global action? That's a threat that even Bitcoin might not withstand. Danger number 4: energy consumption and environmental pressure. Here's a danger that's becoming more serious every year: Bitcoin's massive energy consumption. Bitcoin mining now uses more electricity than some entire countries. We're talking about over 150 terawatt hours per year. That's more than countries like Argentina or Ukraine. Why does this matter? Because the world is becoming increasingly conscious about climate change. Governments are setting carbon reduction targets. Companies are being pressured to go green. Investors are looking at ESG scores, environmental, social, and governance metrics. And Bitcoin? It's becoming a target. Critics argue that Bitcoin's energy use is wasteful. They point out that traditional payment systems like Visa can process thousands of transactions with a fraction of the energy. Environmental activists are calling for restrictions on Bitcoin mining. We're already seeing real consequences. Some countries have banned or restricted Bitcoin mining due to energy concerns. Major investors are hesitant to add Bitcoin to their portfolios because of ESG issues. Social media campaigns against Bitcoin's environmental impact are gaining traction. Now, Bitcoin supporters have counter-arguments. They say much of Bitcoin mining uses renewable energy. Bitcoin incentivizes the development of clean energy. Bitcoin energy use secures a global financial network, which has value. But here's the reality: perception matters. If the general public starts viewing Bitcoin as an environmental villain, it could lead to regulations, bans, or simply a loss of mainstream adoption. And unlike some of the other dangers we've discussed, this one is happening right now, in real time. Danger number 5: mining centralization. Let's talk about a threat that's often overlooked: mining centralization. Bitcoin was designed to be decentralized, with anyone able to mine Bitcoin using their computer. But that vision died years ago. Today, Bitcoin mining is dominated by massive operations using specialized hardware called ASICs. Even more concerning, a handful of mining pools control the majority of Bitcoin's hash rate, the total computing power securing the network. At times, just 4 or 5 mining pools have controlled over 50% of Bitcoin's total mining power. Why is this dangerous? Because if a few small mining groups decided to work together, they could refuse to process certain transactions, attempt a 51% attack to double spend Bitcoin, or effectively control which version of Bitcoin software gets used. And there's another layer to this problem: geographic concentration. For years, the majority of Bitcoin mining happened in China because of cheap electricity. When China banned mining in 2021, it proved how vulnerable Bitcoin is to concentration in one region. Now, mining is shifting to other countries like the United States, Kazakhstan, and Russia, but it's still concentrated, just in different places. Imagine a scenario where a hostile government takes control of the mining operations in their country. Or imagine a few large mining companies merging until one entity controls too much power. These aren't far-fetched scenarios. They're realistic possibilities that could undermine everything Bitcoin stands for. Danger number 6. Technological obsolescence. Here's an uncomfortable question. What if Bitcoin simply becomes outdated? Technology moves fast. The smartphone in your pocket is more powerful than the computers that sent humans to the moon. And in the cryptocurrency world, innovation happens even faster. Since Bitcoin was created in 2009, thousands of newer cryptocurrencies have been launched. Many of them claim to improve on Bitcoin's design. Ethereum offers smart contracts and decentralized applications. Solana promises faster transactions. Monero provides better privacy. Newer projects are trying to solve the energy problem with different consensus mechanisms. Bitcoin's technology is like a Nokia phone from 2009. Sure, it still works, it's reliable, but is it the best tool for the job anymore? Can it compete with newer, more advanced technologies? Bitcoin maximalists argue that Bitcoin doesn't need to be the fastest or most feature-rich. They say it just needs to be the most secure and decentralized store of value, like digital gold. But here's the thing about technology. The best technology doesn't always win. VHS beat Betamax even though Betamax was technically superior. Windows dominated despite many arguing that Mac or Linux were better. What matters is adoption, network effects, and timing. If a newer cryptocurrency gains enough momentum, offers enough advantages, and gets enough institutional support, it could overtake Bitcoin. We're not there yet. Bitcoin still has the strongest brand, the largest network, and the most institutional investment. But technological leadership isn't permanent. Just ask MySpace, Nokia, or Blockbuster. Danger number 7. Black swan events. Finally, let's talk about the most unpredictable danger of all, black swan events. These are completely unexpected events that have massive impact. What could these be for Bitcoin? A critical, previously unknown bug in Bitcoin's code that's exploited before it can be fixed. A major economic crisis that forces governments to ban all cryptocurrencies overnight. A breakthrough in mathematics that makes current cryptography obsolete sooner than expected. A coordinated attack by a nation-state using resources we can't even imagine. Or social or political movements that turn public opinion completely against Bitcoin. The thing about black swans is that we don't know what they are until they happen. By definition, they're surprises. Bitcoin has survived several near black swan events already. The Mt. Gox collapse in 2014, the COVID-19 crash in March 2020, China's repeated mining bans, but will it survive the next one? Nobody knows. So, is Bitcoin really in danger? Here's my honest take. Bitcoin faces real, serious threats from multiple directions. Quantum computing, governance issues, government action, environmental concerns, mining centralization, technological competition, and unpredictable black swans. These aren't imaginary problems. They're real challenges that could fundamentally change or even end Bitcoin as we know it. But here's the other side of the story. Bitcoin has survived every challenge thrown at it so far. It's shown remarkable resilience. The community, despite its conflicts, has generally found ways to adapt. And Bitcoin's first-mover advantage, brand recognition, and network effect are incredibly powerful. The truth is, nobody can predict the future with certainty. Bitcoin could become the global reserve currency, it could fade into obscurity, or something in between. What do you think? Are these dangers overblown, or is Bitcoin's future genuinely at risk? Drop a comment and let me know your perspective. I read every comment and I love hearing different viewpoints. If this video gave you a new perspective on Bitcoin, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want more deep dives into cryptocurrency, economics, and technology, subscribe and ring that notification bell. Final thoughts. Remember, whether you're a Bitcoin believer or a skeptic, Understanding these risks is crucial. The best investors and thinkers don't ignore dangers. They understand them, prepare for them, and make informed decisions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore why every country wants a weak currency but pretends they don't. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there.